All right, hello, and welcome to EdTech Chat and Chew, episode number 61. Wow, it's good stuff. And we have a smaller group today. I'm Diane Smokorowski. This is
Micah Brown.
And joining us from North Carolina is
Darcy Grimes. I'm excited to be here.
So Darcy is adding, she's our newest addition of Awesome to our podcast. Super fan of Darcy Grimes, so super excited to have you join us.
Thank you.
About what you do and such in North Carolina.
All right, so I'm a digital lead teacher at my school at a pre-K through 6th grade school, so I get to work all different grades, which is awesome. And we just got done celebrating Digital Learning Day last week, as I'm sure many of you have celebrated, and that was amazing. We had some stop motion videos going on. We Skyped with a class to share our dancing for our music class. They've been practicing a little dance that they shared with a middle school class and got some feedback on. And then we had some kindergartners who were using the green screen, which was amazing. They've been focusing on weather. And so this teacher, who's a part of our digital learning innovation team at my school, decided instead of a worksheet or instead of a regular test, she would use the green screen to assess where they are. So she showed them a picture of the weather, had the student look at it, walk and stand in front of the green screen, and then the student had to talk about the weather, what clothes they would wear, how they would act in that weather, and it was just awesome. I was so proud. It was amazing.
Okay, so your primary heart is singing.
That's
Why do you love it?
I love it. First, I mean, my teacher has to say, "Oh, I get to know what they know,"
Right?
Like instant formative assessment there. But then they're just so stinking cute the way they talk, and they're talking about their personal, like you're making real world connections for them.
Well, and explain how they went and looked at the picture first. Explain how that went.
Yeah, so the teacher called them up one by one, and she had already had a picture of the weather on the iPad, so there might be a picture of a tornado. And the student was able to look at it for about 5 seconds and then walked over to the green screen and then had to just, off cuff talk about what they would do in that weather, what they would wear, how they would act. And it was so cute. And then because it's the videos, we were able to have a little celebration and have their parents come in and some community members to see what they learned. And they were so proud.
And you saw some new innovations with a DoInk app. What is new that's really genius?
What's really genius, I don't know how much you've used it, Darcy, but it used to be where you took the video, you put the video in DoInk, then you added your background, then you downloaded the video to the camera roll, and then somehow magically you got it to where you wanted to go. Videos are too big to download or to email and things like that. But what DoInk has done is it has made it so that one of the sharing options now is straight to Google Drive.
I did not know that.
Amazing. So if your machine hasn't been updated to the DoInk, and I can't tell you for sure when it updated, but it updated recently, and it's a straight to Google Drive. Like there's no save it to camera roll and trying to upload it to straight to Google Drive.
That is awesome. I'll have to check.
Yeah.
And you were able to make you made a heap of videos.
Yes.
In no time.
No time.
And yours was a weather project too, so share what yours did.
Yes. So I worked with several groups of 2nd graders, and what they did is they pretended to be meteorologists, and they were forecasting the weather. So they had a wild weather script, and they were pretending to get on TV and warning the public, basically, and talked about what kind of wild weather they had, how you prepare for these types of storms, and then some facts that people should know about it. And so they had the different types of wild weather, and then in the background, if they said they needed bottled water, they put bottled water. And so the kids got to choose what pictures they put in the background of DoInk.
And that was 2nd grade.
2nd grade.
That was 2nd grade kids.
That is awesome.
So yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah.
That is so fun. And lots of mashups that you can work with that as well. So you could even do DoInk with the little Chatterpix and do some good stuff together. Have you done some of those things, Darcy?
I have not. No, I think that's going to be our next step.
Any tips?
Okay, so one of the 1st grade teachers that works here, she's a genius, and she was part of our academy last year, and she was like, well, I make these bottle people every year. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say bottle people?
No, I don't.
Think of like a famous, so George Washington, think 2-liter bottle and a styrofoam head, and they dress him up with like felts and like cotton balls on his head for George Washington.
Okay.
Because I do these every year, but I want to tech it up a little bit. And so I was like, well, what about green screening them? And she goes, what do you mean? And so we talked a lot about, first of all, what you could do with green screen, and then She's like, but I want the kids to tell about the facts. I was like, oh, you can totally do that. We'll just do an app smash. She goes, what do you mean? I said, first you do it in Chatterpix. So are you aware of Chatterpix?
I am, yes.
So Chatterpix, is where kids can draw a line over an inanimate object, and then it will talk like a little puppet. So do that first. So you set your little bottle puppet in front of the green screen.
So be kind of like this.
You make your Chatterpix, so record your voice, download that, and then put it into your green screen app. And since you had the bottle person in front of the green screen, and Doink, you can put whatever background you wanted. So with the she did Famous Americans. The Famous American bottle person was over here, I am George Washington. And in the background, they chose real pictures of George Washington.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Very cool.
The great part about any of these devices with the multiple apps is how easy it is to merge them together for an app smash. It's just a matter of your creativity. That was the kindergarten, Darcy. What are the big kids doing?
I think I froze. Oh, can you repeat that?
I said, you talked about the kindergartner with the weather projects. What are the big kids doing?
Oh, so we have a lot of projects going on. We just started using Sway with our 5th graders, and they have caught on and they love it. Sway is an awesome tool. I started it with 4th grade, and so now we're doing it with 5th grade, and they've wanted to even create their own little projects on the side when they come in at 7:30 in the morning when they have some free time, just doing their own projects in Sway to show what they know. So that's been a big thing with 5th grade, doing that. Our 4th grade just partnered with their reading buddies with 1st grade. So they've been reading fairy tales for the past couple weeks. And then together they used Storyboard and they wrote their own fairy tale. And then they built it using Legos and then used the Lego stop motion app, which was so cool to see the 4th graders being leaders with those 1st graders and working together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Darcy's a little awesome. Yeah, just there's good things happening over there. I love it.
There are, yes.
Okay, so Micah, what's happening in your world? Projects right now.
A lot of Breakout EDU.
Yeah, maybe we should explain Breakout EDU. You think?
I think so.
So, this is Breakout EDU Box, and why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
Sure. If you're familiar with escape rooms, or if you're not, escape rooms are when you go out with your friends, and they basically lock you in a room. And to get out of this room, you have to find clues and unlock yourself in a given amount of time. 2 teachers thought this was a brilliant idea and wanted to do it with children, but thought, probably shouldn't lock children in a room. So they built
the Breakout EDU box.
So instead of escaping from a room, they're trying to unlock a box to get inside, whether it's a special treat or extra recess or whatnot. It just kind of depends. They're trying to unlock different curriculum clues in order to break out.
And you can play it in different ways.
Sure.
There's several different ways to do it, but the original way is using one of these, which is HASP. I never say it correctly. HASP. You lock that inside of here, and then you lock all of these other locks inside of it. Each lock has its own puzzle that students have to solve that you wrap around curriculum. And as they unlock one lock after another, they're closer and closer to opening the box to get the prize. Does that make sense, Darcy?
Yeah, that does make sense. That's pretty cool.
So going back to your weather project, sure. Why don't you tell them what you've done with this?
Sure. Since 2nd grade has been studying weather, to show what they know, we had a weather, it's called Weather Wizard Breakout. And basically the Weather Wizard is evil, and he loves, tornadoes and blizzards and hurricanes, and he designed a wacky weather machine that will bring all sorts of severe weather at one time. And so it was the 2nd grader's job. He was out of his lab for 45 minutes, and they had to disable the wacky weather machine by solving different stations. And so there's different ways you play, and the way you play the weather one is kids are in groups, and each box is a different station. And inside each station is a clue. They'll need all the clues to help them unlock that Breakout EDU box to get the treat. So they travel around to different stations, solving different puzzles Some are online, some are paper pencil, some are just verbal, just different kinds of puzzles for them to solve. And so they had 6 stations, and then they gathered all their clues, and then they got to break out on the final box.
And with this one, by having the stations, that kept little hands from not being all cluttered together around this one box. Micah's brilliant mind created these little checkoff sheets, and so they knew they had to go to each station, unlock those individual puzzles to go to the final station.
That's so cool.
Oh, she's awesome.
She is awesome.
And together this weekend, we wrote one on the Zika virus for a biology class. So AP Biology ran today. It was the first time running around, so it does need a little tweaking, maybe just a little bit, but for the most part, it was really good. The students had to explore what's happening with current events around the Zika virus in South America. And, of course, now it's spread to North America, and it's even in Africa right now. They had to look at that. They had to talk about, is it really okay to have the Olympics this summer? Is this something that we should consider? And just went further down. First time we played with big kids. We had done a lot with elementary, and she's even done kindergarten.
Yes, we have played Breakout with kindergarten.
That's awesome.
And with the big kids, it was kind of easy comparatively.
They ran themselves.
We gave them all the scaffolds, and off they went. The teacher, what surprised you today when the teacher had never experienced it with students before?
She was glowing. She started having these ideas of, well, on these like music competition days, well, kids are just sitting around, they need to be playing stuff like this, and da-da-da-da. And she goes, I wish my admin would do a walkthrough during this sort of activity, because there's just so much collaboration and critical thinking going on independently.
Exactly.
Hands off.
But you challenged her.
Yes. And I said, well, what do you think about your students writing a breakout game? And she went, as a review. And I said, yes. And so I think she's wanting to, for the end of her, as a review for her AP Biology test exam, her students will partner up and they'll each write a breakout EDU game, which big kids can totally do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome.
That's so cool. I would want to be in that class.
Well, she was having so much. You could just see her little wheels going. It was great. It was great. And even though we had a couple of missteps, because again, this is the first time we played that particular game that we had written, the kids just rolled with it. Yeah, it was easy, and I'm kind of excited to get it going again. That and the other big thing. Gosh, I've just been doing so much on the state level as well as the class. I've just been kind of crazy busy. But we have one geography teacher who's kicking in to do some Flubaroo with his Google Forms, kind of switching out of the tests a little bit, so I'm pretty proud of him. Oh, and we do have middle school PE and health classes that have kicked on a project-based learning unit on why kids need to move more in the middle school versus sitting hour after hour after hour. And they're doing pretty much a big research to determine, can we put recess in middle school? Or if we can't, how can we encourage our teachers to move more with us in the room? So yeah, there's good things going on. If you ever want to see an awesome PE environment that's doing awesome tech, we can hook you up. It's good stuff. Okay, well, is there anything else that's coming up that we've got travel buddies? We got Squiggles of Awesome. We're getting ready to start. So yeah, more information on that here in the next week or so. We just need time to put the webpage back together. But it's coming, we promise. All right, so Micah, that leads us over to what was for lunch.
Same old, which is not a bad thing. Buffalo chicken salad with ranch.
And Darcy, what did you have for today?
I had leftover burritos, black beans, pineapple, and sweet potatoes.
Pineapple.
Ooh, you hear that? You got the award. You did. Because every week we give a award for the best lunch, you win. Because mine was just Arby's. All right, that's all the time we have for this week. We'll see you next time on EdTech Chat 2. See ya.
Bye.